Hey witches, it's Taya here, and we are doing Folklore Friday. We are going to read The Stars in the Sky. Make sure you stay tuned afterwards so that you can kind of get the download on how we can use this to build our witchcraft practice. So The Stars in the Sky, a Scottish tale retold by Joseph Jacobs, pictures by Airdrie Amtmann. Once on a time, and twice on a time, and all times together as ever I heard tell of, there was a tiny lassie who'd weep all day to have the stars in the sky to play with. She wouldn't have this, and she wouldn't have that, but it was always the stars she would have. So one fine day, off she went to find them. And she walked, and she walked, and she walked, till by and by she came to a mill dam. "Good e'en to ye," says she. "I'm seeking the stars in the sky to play with. Have you seen any?" "Oh, yes, my bonny lassie," said the mill dam. "They shine in my face o' nights till I can't sleep for them. Jump in and perhaps you'll find one." So she jumped in and swam about and swam about and swam about, but ne'er a one could she see. So she went on till she came to a brooklet. "Good e'en to ye, brooklet, brooklet," says she. "I'm seeking the stars in the sky to play with. Have you seen any?" "Yes, indeed, my bonny lassie," said the brooklet. "They glint on my banks at night. Paddle about, and maybe you'll find one." So she paddled, and she paddled, and she paddled, but ne'er a one did she find. So on she went till she came to the good folk. "Good e'en to ye, good folk," says she. "I'm looking for the stars in the sky to play with. Have you seen e'er a one?" "Why, yes, my bonny lassie," said the good folk. "They shine on the grass here a night. Dance with us, and maybe you'll find one." It's the Elsewhere Ballet Theatre. Invites you to Les Sylphides all night long. Special guest stars. And in the corner here we have the wardrobe mistress. And she danced, and she danced, and she danced, but ne'er a one did she see. So down she sate, I suppose she wept. "Oh, dearie me," says she. "I've swam and I've paddled and I've danced, and if you'll not help me I shall never find the stars in the sky to play with." But the good folk whispered together, and one of them came up to her and took her by the hand and said, "Oh, if you won't go home to your mother, go forward, go forward. Mind you take the right road. Ask 4 feet to carry you to no feet at all, and tell no feet at all to carry you to the stars without steps. And if you can climb that—" "Oh, shall I be among the stars in the sky then?" cried the lassie. "Oh, if you'll not be, then you'll be elsewhere," said the good folk, and set to dancing again. So on she went again with a light heart, and by she came to a saddled horse tied to a tree. "Good e'en to ye, beast," said she. "I'm seeking the stars in the sky to play with. Will you give me a lift, for oh, my bones are aching?" "Nay," said the horse, "I know naught of the stars in the sky, and I'm here to do the bidding of the good folk, not my own will." "Well," she said, "it's from the good folk I come, and they bade me tell 4 feet to carry me to no feet at all." "Well, that's another story," said he. "Jump up and ride with me." So they rode and they rode and they rode, till they got out of the forest and found themselves at the edge of the sea. And on the water in front of them was a wide, glistening path running straight out towards a beautiful thing that rose out of the water and went up into the sky, and was all the colours in the world, blue and red and green, and wonderful to look at. "Now get you down," said the horse. "I've brought you to the end of the land, and that's as much as 4 feet can do. I must away home to my own folk." "But," said the lassie, "where's no feet at all, and where's the star without steps?" "I know not," said the horse, "and it's none of my business neither. So good e'en to ye, my bonny lassie." And off he went. So the lassie stood still and looked at the water till a strange kind of fish came swimming up to her feet. "Good e'en to ye, big fish," says she. "I'm looking for the stars in the sky and for the stairs that climb up to them. Will you show me the way?" "Nay," said the fish, "I can't unless you bring me word from the good folk." "Oh, yes, indeed," said she. "They said 4 feet would bring me to no feet at all, and no feet at all would carry me to the stairs without steps." "Oh, well," said the fish, "that's all right then. Get on me back and hold fast." And off he went kerplash into the water along the silver path towards the bright arch. And the nearer they came, the brighter the sheen of it, till she had to shade her eyes from the light of it. And as they came to the foot of it, she saw it was a broad, bright road sloping up and away into the sky, and at the far, far end of it, she could see wee shiny things dancing about. "Now," said the fish, "here you are, and yon's the stair. Climb up if you can, but hold on fast. I'll warrant you find the stair easier at home than by such a way. 'Twas ne'er meant for lassies' feet to travel." And off he splashed through the water. So she clomb and she clomb and she clomb, but ne'er a step higher did she get. The light was before her and around her, and the water behind her, and the more she struggled, the more she was forced down into the dark and the cold, and the more she clomb, the deeper she fell. But she clomb and she clomb till she got dizzy in the light, and shivered with the cold, and dazed with the fear. But still she clomb, till at last, quite dazed and silly like, she let clean go, and sank down, down, down. And bang! She came on to the hard boards, and found herself sitting, weeping and wailing by the bedside at home, all alone. So friends, that was The Stars in the Sky, a Scottish tale retold by Joseph Jacobs, pictures by Airdrie Amtmann. Love this little book. So what can we learn from this that we can use in our practice? Well, the first thing that I really pulled from this was this idea of animism, that everything has spirit. She speaks with the mill dam, which is like the dam at a mill that they'll release to let the mill wheel spin. So she talks to the dam, she talks to the brooklet, and they talk back to her. So that idea that everything is alive, that everything has a spark of life in it. So animism. Of course, we're introduced to the good folk, the Fae. And what do we learn about them? That they can offer us entrance to otherworldly areas. She was told that the stairs were never meant for a lassie's feet to climb, but she tries anyway. So they've offered her entrance into this other world. It doesn't necessarily mean that she belongs there, but they've definitely given her the opportunity. And we learn a little bit that they're tricksters, right? She said to them, "Will that take me? If I do what you say and I follow along the right path, will that take me to the stars?" And they said, "Well, you'll get to the stars in the sky, or you might be elsewhere." So they didn't actually make her a promise that that would get her to the stars. We meet some incredible beasts. 4 feet, who has wings. He's a winged horse. And we meet No Feet at All, which is a huge, very mythical looking fish that help her on her journey. So there's this idea of otherworldly creatures, especially otherworldly creatures in the service to the good folk. And finally, we learn a bit at the very end, bang, she comes onto the hardwood at home all alone. So the idea that maybe this was just part of an altered state, that her congress with the good folk, that this search for the stars in the sky had happened in her dream world, that it wasn't something that she had done in her regular waking life. So the idea that in order to access the portals to these other worlds, we need to be in an altered state. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, it's just a children's book. You know, I don't know that it was meant to convey all those ideas, but being of, you know, historical origin. Let me see, this book was originally published in 1979. So you can assume that the story was probably, it's retold, so this would be an original story that's been retold in 1979. So, you know, it has some historical time to it.
It's not a new story. And yeah, it really gives us a sort of a screenshot of what people were thinking of at the time when the story would have been created. So about animism, the good folk, these beastly creatures, and having that altered state to sort of access them. So again, it's just interesting what we can pull from mythology, from folklore, to really that adds to our practice, that really just makes it feel a little more authentic. Yeah. So anyways, that was the stars in the sky. I hope you enjoyed our first Folklore Friday. We'll do it again in a few. Otherwise, stay tuned for some other videos, and feel free to like and subscribe if you'd like to hang out a little bit more. Thanks so much, guys.